In this video, we're going to talk about modeling decimals. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the base 10 blocks that we've used before. Okay? Now, what we've got to do in this case, though, is we have to identify a way that we can model this number using the units, the flats, and the longs. Okay? Now, we also have the block, too, and I don't have a version of the block that I can use, but we know what that is. It would be 10 by 10 and then 10 tall. So it would be a cube that's 10 by 10. Now, if I looked at this number right here, this part of the number, and I modeled 345, I would actually have 3 of the flats, and I'm just going to draw them because it's a whole that's a whole lot more space on the paper. Okay, so that represents 3 of the flats. Okay, and then 4 longs would represent the 40. Okay, so then I'm just going to draw 4 of those longs. Okay, and then I'm going to represent the 5 with 5 units. Now, knowing also that here's our decimal and we could have 2 cubes here. Okay, so that this represents the number 2. This represents what's in the tenths place. These longs represent what's in the hundredths place, and the units represent what's in thousandths place. So let's think about what the value of each of those pieces is then. So if this 5 represents 5 of these pieces, that means that each one of those pieces represents 1/10, 100th, 1000th. Okay? And then a long, so a unit represents that. Then a long represents 1/100th. And a flat represents 1/10. Okay? So according to our diagram, that's what we've got. Now, the point I'm trying to make with this is that we can model a decimal in a lot of different ways. And we can use base 10 blocks to represent different things. So now let's keep this picture in mind, and then let's go model another decimal. So let's look at the number 3.24, or 3 and 2400ths. Alright, so let's think same pieces. So we've got 3 pieces that we can model here. Actually 4, but we only need 3. So in this case, I would let the ones here be represented with flats. So my 3 then, in this case, would be a flat. Okay, then I have my decimal. Then my longs would be represented as tenths, and I have 2 of those. And then my units would actually be represented as hundredths. So, excuse me. So I have modeled 3 and 24 hundredths. Now, in this case, my unit represents one of what's in the 4 place. So that represents 1/100th. My longs then represent 1/10th, and my flats represent 1. Okay? So this is 3 and 24 hundredths. Okay?